up next, conversion of units. Now, before I fill in all these tables, now usually I will go by this following conversion that I try to remember, from kilometers to meters, and then to cm. Kilometer to meters is times 1000. Meters to cm is times 100. And if you have mm, you might need that. That will be times 10. So you notice the number of zeros actually dropped. Right, so if I were to have from cm to kilometers, that will be divide by 100, divide by 1000, from meters to kilometers, right? And then for hours to minutes is times 60, so 1 hour have 60 minutes. Minutes to seconds will be times another 60. So if I want to change from second to hours, I'll need to divide by 60, divide by 60, which is actually 3,600. So let's fill in the blanks in this table over here. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. And then 1 kilometer is 100,000 cm. Okay, for an hour, 1 hour is 60 minutes. 1 minute have 60 seconds. So 1 hour have 3,600 seconds. So now the next few questions require us to convert the units. Okay, I shall teach you 2 different methods to solve this kind of questions. Okay, and you can pick the method that you like to practice. Alright, let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, now for our first method, what we know is 40 meters per second means I will have 40 meters in 1 second. And I want to change it to kilometers per hour. I know that 1 hour have 3,600 seconds, which gives me 1 hour. And that will give me 40 times 3,000, 40 times 3,600 seconds to give me the number 144,123 meters. And next, I'm going to change this to kilometers by dividing by 1,000. So I get 144 kilometers per hour. Okay, in 1 hour. So this will be my answer. This is method number 1. Okay, or you can do method number 2. I know that the speed is given by 40 meters per second, 1 second. So what I need to do is to change meters to kilometers. To change meter to kilometer, I divide by 1,000. To change second to hours, I need to divide by 3,600. Then I key this into my calculator and it should give me the same answer. 144 kilometers per hour. Okay, so here are 2 different methods for you to choose. You can choose to use either one of the methods. Okay, so if that's the case, I'll leave you to do question 4B, 5, and 6 as the offline homework practice for today. Right, now let's continue to the next part of our lesson. Next part of the lesson, now solving word problems involving speed, distance, and time. Now we should start with slightly the simpler questions. Okay, the MRT travels 160 kilometers at an average speed of 96 kilometers. So we notice that the distance, the unit measurements are the same. But this one here, the time is in hours. Calculate how long this journey takes. Okay, give your answers in hours and minutes. Now, let us recall the triangle DST. If I want to find time, so time will be given by distance over speed. So I'm going to take time to be distance over speed. Let us write a quick description. Time equals to the distance is 160 kilometers divided by the speed is 96, and that gives us 1 2/3. We try to leave it as exact as possible. This is 1 2/3 hours. What does this mean? If I want to change it to hours and minutes, it will be 1 hour, and then 2 3/4 hour. How do I change it back to minutes? I need to times 60. So that will give me 1 hour, 40 minutes. Next question. A lorry takes 25 minutes to travel 30 kilometers. Find its average speed in kilometers. Now we notice per hour. So we notice the units for the distance is the same, but this is in hours. So I'll need to change 25 minutes to 25 over 60 of an hour. Okay, to find the average speed, speed is given by, no, they want the average speed. Average speed is given by total distance, which is 30, divided by the total time, which is 25 over 60 of an hour. Okay, we shall keep this in our calculator. Either you do this, or if you're not sure, you can key this into your calculator as well. And I got the answer of 72. Now this is in kilometers per hour, so it will be kilometers per hour. Have you gotten the answer? Okay, next question. Mr. Tan drove 45 kilometers at an average speed of 60 kilometers per hour. So I know this is kilometers. The time is going to be in hours. He then traveled at an average speed of 88 kilometers per hour for the next 1.5 hours. Oh, this looks a little bit confusing. Okay, I should have many different parts of the journey, right? Let me write down part 1 first. So usually we always look at 3 factors: distance, speed, and time. Okay, for part 1 of my journey. Part 1 of my journey, the distance is 45 kilometers. The average speed is 60 kilometers per hour. I can probably find the time taken. And then he traveled in part 2, the distance, speed, and the time. Distance not given, but the speed is 88 kilometers per hour for 1.25 of an hour. Calculate the time taken for the first part of the journey. So, well, I can fill up my blanks over here, okay, quite easily. So, time is given by, this is part A. Time is given by, let's look at our triangle DST. So time is given by distance divided by speed. So 45 kilometers divided by 60. That gives you 3/4 of an hour. So 3/4 of an hour. Let me fill up my blanks. So time for the first part of the journey. Okay, part B, the distance traveled in the second part of the journey. So I need to fill out the distance. Distance is given by speed times time. So 88 times 1.25. That gives me a distance of 110 kilometers. Now notice this distance, right? So 110 kilometers. Now they ask us to find the average speed. So we know that average speed equals to total distance divided by total time. What is the total distance over here? So I have made a record. 45 plus 110. Total distance will be given by 115. Then what is the total time taken? 3/4 of an hour plus 1.25 of an hour. That gives me total time to be 2 hours. So this is 115 kilometers. So my answer will be 115 kilometers divided by 2 hours to give me 57.5 or 57.5 kilometers per hour. So this will be the average speed for the whole journey. Have you gotten the answer? Now I shall do 2 more questions before I leave you to do the homework of my assignment and the TYS questions at the back of the page. So now let's start with this question over here. Jimmy started his journey at 7:30. He traveled from town A to B, which was 36 kilometers apart, and an average speed of 48 kilometers per hour. Okay, that's quite a lot of information. So let's try to write down a little bit. For part A, it's talking about town A to town B. I usually have 3 things to consider: distance, speed, and time. So now they say that the distance from town A to town B is 36 kilometers. The average speed is 48 kilometers per hour. So probably we need to find the time taken later. and it gives me extra information that it starts at 7:30. So maybe I'll need to find the time he arrived, okay, at town B or something like that. Okay, then in between he stopped for a 45-minute rest. So during the rest time, the distance is 0, the speed is 0, the time taken 45 minutes. But we notice that this is all given in terms of hours. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write 45 minutes as 45 over 60 of an hour. Okay, and then he continued his journey, okay, to arrive at town C. That means now he's going to go from town B to town C. Distance, speed, and time, I do not know. His journey at the average speed of 54 kilometers per hour, okay. And town C arrived at the timing 1.5 hours later. So probably I need to find the distance, isn't it? Okay, we have our complete information now. Let us do the parts of the question. First one, calculate the time he arrived in town B. So we should calculate the time taken first. Okay, so time taken to arrive is distance divided by speed. No, let me draw my favorite triangle. DST. So distance divided by speed. This will give me 3/4 of an hour. Now because I need to calculate the time taken, so and in terms, I need to change this to minutes. So this will be 3/4 of an hour is 45 minutes. And now I need to add 45 minutes to 7:30. So after 45 minutes, so I can use my calculator to help me. 7 hours, you can press the special button, 30 minutes plus 0 hours 45 minutes, and that gives me the timing to be 8:15, 08:15. So the time taken when he reached town B will be 08:15. Now let me shift this up so that I can write a quick statement. Okay, so this is the statement. Now part B, find the distance between town B and C. As you can see over here, this unit here is blank. Okay, but I know there is a speed and there's a time, so I can find the distance. So distance is given by speed times time. So 54 times 1.5 hours gives me 81 kilometers. So the distance will be 81 kilometers. And this is 3/4, okay, of an hour. Now part C question asks us to find the average speed. Average speed is given by the total distance over the total time. So what is the total distance? So let us calculate the total distance. In this case, I will have 36 plus 81. The total distance is given by 117 kilometers. Okay, I need to erase away this one. This is just dot dot. Okay, and the total time taken. So now I should use the total time in terms of hours. So I should not use the 45 minutes. I shall have a total hours of 3 over 4 hours. Okay, total time 3/4 plus 45 minutes is also 3/4 actually, plus 1.5 hours, and that gives me a total time of 3 hours. So in this case, we want our average speed. Average speed will be total distance over total time. And the answer is 39 kilometers per hour. Have you gotten the answer? Okay, question number 5. A van traveled an average speed of 72 kilometers from the airport, and 20 minutes later, so the van will be down here, so it had traveled 72 kilometers per hour for a time of 20 minutes. 20 minutes, but 20 over 60 of a minute. So what is the distance that it has traveled already? So this distance is 72 times 20 over 60. That gives me a total of 24 kilometers, right? And then the car started. So let me draw a car. So now this car started. Okay, and then it caught up with the van after traveling a distance of 78 kilometers. So what is the remaining time? Okay, find the average speed of the car. So if this is the case, what is the I know the van, right, have a speed of 72 kilometers per hour. For this portion, what is the remaining distance before it meet up with the car that the van has traveled? So this distance over here will be 78 kilometers, subtract 24 to give me a distance of 54 kilometers. From here, I can find out the time taken. Now, this time taken itself will be the time taken for the van to travel to the meeting point. It's also equals to the time that is taken for the car to catch up with the van. So this time taken will be the distance, 54 kilometers, divided by the speed, 72 kilometers per hour. We get 3/4 of an hour. So now I already know the distance traveled by the car is 78 kilometers. The time taken for the car to travel this 78 kilometers is 3/4 of an hour. I can find the average speed of the car. So the average speed of this car will now be 78 divided by 3/4 of an hour, which is 104 kilometers per hour. Have you gotten the answer? Now your offline assignment for today, please complete these two TYS question over here, this and this. Okay, and then submit your work for today in the Google Classroom. We'll see you for the next lesson.